allow me to explain culture drivers for team in a little more detail. First, I will guide you quickly through the basic flow, the flow that most teams follow. Afterwards, I will explain some of the extra services and tools that we use to support challenged teams, and how we help a leader who gets a poor assessment. But let's begin with the basic flow. It always starts with an assessment. Everyone answers a few statements about individual motivation and about team collaboration, and everyone, except the leader, answers a few statements about how they perceive the leader. There are 35 statements in total, typically completed in 5 minutes or less. Next, the leader gets the feedback, both the team feedback and the leader feedback. Virtual guides help the leader make sense of the feedback and focus on the most important themes. And an expert coach help in interpreting the results and decide how to engage the team in the feedback in a one-to-one conversation. For most leaders and teams, that's all the coaching they need. The leader will then lead a team session where the feedback are shared and discussed, and another session where the team picks out one specific team behavior to improve on in the weeks that follows. Teams who are performing well can even skip the team behavior task, but most teams will benefit from this. 3 months after the first assessment, everyone are asked to repeat the 5-minute assessment, and the results, with progress and differences called out, are channeled back to the team via the team leader. That's the flow for most teams. The high-performing teams will have spent an average of less than half an hour per person, and more average teams typically 2 to 4 hours per person. But what about the challenge teams? And what about the leaders who gets a poor assessment? That's really the interesting questions, because we know that challenged teams are holding back everyone else, and we know that they can improve with a little help. That's why we spend more resources on challenged teams and leaders than on average teams. When our algorithms identifies a team with challenges, the expert coach are notified, and the allocated time for one-to-one coaching is automatically raised to 5 hours. Also, a number of extra tools are made available to support the team and/or the leader. Let me mention some examples, and let's start with tools that support the team. If the team scores low on trust and healthy conflict, the coach can open up for a couple of challenging team dilemmas, specifically bringing these issues to life. If the leader are strong and well respected by the team members, he or she will be able to run these engagements directly with their teams, supported by our virtual guides. But if the leader is not well positioned in the team, the coach are authorized to suggest to facilitate the team engagement, giving the leader space to focus on their own role in the team. The coach also have a range of tools available to support a struggling leader. For example, what's your superpower that helps the leader better understand his or her strength and how to play them well? And habit drivers, a tool that helps the leader build new and more effective habits. These tools are assigned based on needs and motivation of the leader and supported by short and focused one-to-one coaching sessions. So, in a challenge team, it's not unusual that the leader of the team spends 10 to 20 hours in the program and the team members to spend 3 to 6 hours each. And we do track this time spent as we track the effect of the program. So when we measure progress in the follow-up assessment after 3 months and compare it with the time spent by the leaders and teams, we can clearly document if efforts made offers a positive return, and it usually does. For all of this to work, we have created a business model where all teams pay the same price. Pretty much like an insurance policy, where the less fortunate get a lot in return for their payments, and where the more fortunate rarely complains when they do not need the extra help. In a nutshell, culture drivers for teams drive overall performance by giving laser-focused help and support to the leaders and teams with the highest improvement potential, and proves that it actually pays off.